So today we came home from school and Patrick wanted them to said that my dad track that. We went to a house in Bridge. We spoke to the principal. I was like, oh, school.
And Mr. Dowdy, we are ready.
Good evening. Welcome to the District 225 Board of Education meeting. Madam Secretary, would you please read the roll?
Mr. Dowdy.
Here?
Mr. Glowacki.
Present.
Ms. Mullenbeck. Here. Mr. O'Hara.
Here.
Ms. Siegwin. Mr. Schein.
Present.
Dr. Steinberg.
Here.
6 members present.
I'll entertain a motion now to approve the agenda for the meeting.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a special evening for our board. This happens only every 2 years. It marks not just the closure of the current board, which we do every year, but the swearing in of our members out of the latest election from April 1st. We have 2 re-elected members and 2 new members, which is always exciting to have that swearing in, which will take place in a little while. The agenda this evening reflects our special structure that we follow. We will have, I believe, brief board and superintendent reports followed by our consent agenda. Then we will move to what we call the sine die portion of our meeting, which when we start closing out the board, before we go through that motion, we will be saying goodbye to a retiring board member. And then after some shuffling, a little bit of musical chairs, we will begin our new board process with the appointment of a president pro tem and secretary pro tem. Just for the first part of the proceedings, we'll go to the all-important swearing in. And after that, the election of the new board's officers. After those festivities, we will then move to a reception to celebrate the evening. For a little while, it is a happy occasion for our district and our board tonight. And then after the reception, the new board will return to business. There will be public comment, followed by the regular agenda, which has 3 relatively short items tonight. One of which is the approval of the final 24-25 school year, which really concerns our at least hope that there'll be no more snow days. And then we'll be talking about new board committee appointments and the meeting dates for the coming year for the board. There will be closed session with one possible action afterward on a memorandum of agreement. Again, thank you for joining us on this special evening for our board. And with that, I will turn it over to Dr. Johns for the board and superintendent reports.
So actually, Mr. Dowdy, we will have no board or superintendent reports this evening in light of the extensive reports we've had for the past several meetings. So we're all excited for this meeting, and we will have a long list of reports for our next meeting on May 12th.
Outstanding. That is very efficient, and I appreciate it. Item 4 on our agenda is our consent agenda. Dr. Johns, I believe there's at least one change. Would you might let us know about that, please?
So the major change that we made is we took a consent item out of consent and put it, that's the MOA with the Glenbrook Education Association, sorry, for GESA, that we have taken out of consent, and it will be voted upon after the closed session.
Other than that, any changes?
No changes.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda minus the GESA item that we'll discuss later.
Second.
Any discussion on the consent agenda? Ms. Smith?
Mr. Glowacki.
Yes.
Ms. Mullenbeck.
Yes.
Mr. O'Hara.
Yes.
Mr. Schein.
Yes.
Dr. Steinberg.
Yes.
Mr. Dowdy.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 5, sine die. This is when we begin to close our board. We begin this with 5.1, which is called board member comments. It does regard a retiring board member who happens to be me. So let me begin for just a couple of moments, if I can beg your indulgence, with a few thoughts, having sat up here for pushing 13 years. Our district is a special place, a special community, a special family. It's our Glenbrook family. With our learned teachers, expert coaches, and sponsors, dedicated staff, wise administrators, along with our all-important parents, guardians, and siblings, countless volunteers, and ever-supportive communities, we're a very special family. And we're all focused, as we should be, on our remarkable students who are full of brains and skills, interests and curiosity, joy and compassion, vigor and resilience, and limitless potential. They are our future. And we all work together to foster that future. It's a tremendous responsibility. It's a true stewardship. But no matter how tired we are, or how bogged down we may feel in the issues of the day, it is worth every ounce of our energy and every minute of our time. To my dear colleagues here and the two who are going to be joining this table soon, you're an exceptional group. And like our communities, you hail from different backgrounds and different professions, and you come here with a host of different experiences. Yet you all share a profound commitment to our students and our Glenbrook family. Every one of you assiduously reads the copious materials that show up in your email box on the Thursday or Friday before every meeting. You come here prepared with questions and points. You participate thoroughly and thoughtfully in our discussions. Every one of you is dedicated to developing the best ideas, the best solutions, the best paths forward. Over the years, we've worked on much together, from helping maintain and develop our unparalleled team of teachers, staff, and administrators, to helping bolster physical and mental health in our schools, and invest in first-rate facilities while keeping our budgets balanced. We've navigated together through a pandemic and are now well on our way with a comprehensive strategic plan. But as we all know, we've done none of this alone. Our administration, our faculty, our staff, our families and communities have been invaluable leaders and allies in every aspect of these endeavors. And above all, we know that what we do up here is never about us. It's about our students, plain and simple. I am grateful to all of you for your service to our students and our families. To all the educators in our district, both those here in this room and the many, many more beyond this room, I have learned more from you than I can begin to recount about educational topics, to be sure, but also about the individual stories and textures that enrich our schools and communities, and about working with passionate people and groups with humility and respect. In particular, you have taught me about leadership, how to listen, learn, and come together for the betterment of our students. I thank you all for your support and for the countless opportunities you provide for our students to learn and grow. I want especially to thank Mr. Glowacki, who has been my partner over the years. Your insights, teamwork, patience, and leadership have been extraordinary resources for me and our district. I thank you, sir. Finally, I want to thank Dr. Johns, with whom I have spent hundreds of hours. You are a consummate educator. You're smart, you're well-read, you're articulate, you're thoughtful, humane, and tireless. And you're calm in facing the myriad, nonstop challenges of being a high school superintendent. I thank you, sir. My friends all, it has been a true honor to work with you. I am ever proud of our district, and I am ever humbled by our cornucopia of blessings. I have every confidence that our Glenbrook excellence will continue to blossom in the years to come. I wish you the best of luck. I'll be cheering for you all. Thank you.
Go ahead.
So Bruce, this is going to be a little challenging, but I will, it's been a number of years that we've been together as a board working through many difficult situations. And ladies and gentlemen, this is kind of a rare opportunity for us to actually express our gratitude and our deep regard for Bruce's leadership these past 6 years. Your remarkable tenure over nearly 13 years, excuse me, as serving as the school board president the past 6 years, and unparalleled dedication, vision, and leadership and integrity. You've led this district with all of those. Your unwavering commitment to the betterment of our schools and community has left an indelible mark. Under your guidance, we have seen initiatives that have enriched the lives of our students, empowered our educators, and distinguished our community. Your efforts have always reflected a deep understanding of the challenges we face and the opportunities we have to create a brighter future. Through your leadership, you've championed the health center, the budget in brief, the strategic plan, and a number of other initiatives, but those are the most recent. While fostering inclusivity, improving facilities, improving all the 4 A's, and we see those across the back of the wall, which remind us, and you constantly remind us that's why we're here. Ensuring that our schools are places where every student can thrive and every teacher can excel. Your ability to listen, empathize, and act has been a source of inspiration to us all. Beyond the policies and projects, it is your compassion, dedication, steadfast leadership, and the commitment to constructively collaborating constantly with all the different perspectives you just shared to bring a constructive solution to some very difficult problems we face here. You've constantly shown us the power of leadership rooted in service, always placing the needs of our students and community at the forefront. Your legacy will continue to shape our schools for years to come. As you step away from this role, we hope that you do so with pride in all that you've accomplished. You have been an advocate, a leader, and a friend to me, and I know so many others. On behalf of the entire community, we thank you for your service and for the sacrifices you have made and for the vision you have shared. And I know that, Maria will be happy that she'll be getting 2,000 hours a year back. Thank you again, Bruce.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. That was remarkably generous. I really appreciate that, Pete. I really do.
If I could see it. Well, one might imagine that tonight is filled with a range of emotions for Mr. Dowdy and his family. When the community elects members to the Board of Education, they seek individuals of high character who will view the role holistically. Bruce Dowdy clearly embodies these ideals. Mr. Dowdy has always focused on how the board's decisions impact our students, our staff, and our families. Bruce retires after having dedicated 13 years of service to the Glenbrook Board of Education, an absolutely enormous commitment. He served as our president for 6 years and has led this board ably and with distinction for what have been, in my opinion, the most challenging period this board has ever navigated. A successful board president must be mindful and carefully balance competing interests and lead by honoring tradition, supporting innovation, all while thoughtfully balancing diverse inputs from students, staff, families, and also our large non-school community. In working with Mr. Dowdy during his board tenure, I have come to appreciate his thoughtful approach and analytical problem solving, while also being mindful that the board must act in a fiscally responsible manner. It is a delicate balancing act. This is exactly the approach our community expect of an excellent board member and of our board president. Bruce, thank you for your steady leadership as our president and your unyielding commitment to the Glenbrooks. I have enjoyed our many years of service together and wish you the very best in your future endeavors. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Skip. That was very generous. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Bruce, I bet that if you had a card and you had to write your 3 things you were expecting you would do well, and the 3 things that you would not like from being the board chair 7 years ago, maybe you were right in one of them at most. I think nobody's expecting a pandemic or expecting polarizing issues happening. And I think into many of our conversations and arguments, I always end up telling you, why are you spending so many hours on these things, right? And one thing that people tend to overlook is that you can agree with somebody sometimes, you can disagree with somebody sometimes, but you cannot overlook the amount of work and effort that people put. And that sometimes gets sidetracked by your affinity or not affinity to a certain topic. And I think this needs to be recognized. I always mention to you that one thing that I really admired was that no matter what the argument, you took a deep breath and you let us all say our thoughts, even if that session was going to be a long session or was going to be, you knew what some of us were going to say, but that didn't stop you from saying, I want everybody to talk. Small things that people may not realize, you start sometimes from one side, sometimes you start from the other side. These are small things, but for those of us who are sitting here, are huge. And I think it needs to be said. You may know, but I miss our arguments over the phone. Those things that people don't know. It's good to be passionate, and it's good at the same time to be able to agree to disagree and still don't dwell on those things as a relation. So I really appreciate you for everything you have done. You were one of the, like Skip at the time, one of the senior board members when I started, and you were one of the few that gave me a phone call and said, whatever you need, give me a call, I'll be there. Again, things that people may not see or may not know. I thank you for your service, not only for the community, but for all of us as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Marcelo. Much appreciate it.
I'm not a man of many words when I like to tell you stuff, so I'm going to keep it short for you. I've learned a lot from you personally, watching you lead us in some of these trying times, and there's been some of the more interesting moments in my life have been sitting on this board. I find you're caring and thoughtful. I find you're thinking of the whole community at all times. And you do let people speak, which is really important to just allow people to have their ability to say what they need to say. You know, I grew up in a Catholic family, and I really feel like you embody that man for others thought. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
Not sure if I can say anything more than has already been said. But as the newest member of the board, not for long, but with the shortest tenure and the most to learn, it's really been an honor and a privilege to serve with you, because I've said to many people at Trader Joe's, at the gym, all the people I run into in the community, this board is a group of serious people who care very much about the district. And you have helped all of us navigate some very difficult times with a lot of dignity and grace. And I very much appreciate that. So thank you for your service. And 12 years, gosh, I've done 2. 12 seems like a lot. 13.
Yeah, thank you, Sandy. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
If I can, I'll round it out. I have the honor of speaking on behalf of the staff and recognizing and thanking Bruce for his remarkable service to our district as a board member, vice president for the past 6 years as president of our Board of Education. Over the past 6 years, I've had the privilege of working closely with Bruce. In fact, for the past 6 years, we've shared planning phone calls nearly twice a week, calls that became the heartbeat of our work together. It was fun. We had a lot of good times together. We learned a lot and shared a great number of laughs. We built relationships and we accomplished big things. One thing that stands out, and you've heard it from others, in every one of those conversations that we had, and at every board meeting, Bruce brought a steady and unwavering focus to what matters most, our students. Though it may sound cliche, he truly kept our students at the center of every decision and every discussion. Bruce possesses a rare combination of skills that made him an exceptional leader. His incredible attention to detail, comprehensive awareness of different perspectives, and the ability to stay focused on the big picture have continually guided our district forward. Just as important, he modeled leadership rooted in dignity and respect, always listening carefully to voices of students, parents, staff, and community members. Under Bruce's leadership as board president, our district has accomplished some of the most transformative work in our history. We completed a strategic plan that continues to chart our course. We advanced the Total Classroom Initiative, providing technology-rich learning environments for our students. We modernized our facilities, ranging from upgrades of washrooms to renovation of our theaters. We completed a significant administrative redesign to better serve our students and families, and we are developing a new transition center to meet the needs of our adult learners. We opened a school-based health center to support the health and wellness of our students, and we undertook a massive, very detailed update of our policy manual to ensure that our governance remains strong and responsive. Each of these accomplishments reflects Bruce's deep commitment to excellence, to innovation, and ensuring that every student has the opportunity to succeed. Bruce, on behalf of our administration, our staff, families, and most importantly, our students, you have our deepest gratitude. Your leadership has made a lasting difference, and your impact will be felt for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Johns. Incredibly generous. And thank you all for your thoughtful comments and support after all of these years. It's been a journey and really an incredibly rewarding one. So I feel very, very fortunate to do so. So I believe at this point, we are now going to move to item 5.2, which is actually the motion to adjourn sine die. So in as much as there is no further business to come before this board, a motion for adjournment sine die is needed.
Mr. President, I move that we adjourn sine die.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Okay. So Mrs. Smith, for one last time.
Ms. Mullenbeck,
Yes.
Mr. O'Hara,
Yes.
Mr. Schein,
Yes.
Dr. Steinberg,
Yes.
Mr. Glowacki,
Yes.
and Mr. Doughty.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
I move to appoint Charles Johns to serve as chairman pro tem.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I move that we appoint Carol Smith to serve as secretary pro tem.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The Board of School District 225 will now come to order. We now turn to what we commonly call the organizational meeting for the board. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I now ask that the secretary of the board swear in the newly elected members of the Glenbrook High School District 225. Your oath should be sitting placed in front of you. Could I have our two new board members join us as well at the places that we've set aside for you? It is a recently approved oath that our policy committee put together.
Oh, you mean I read it?
You wrote it.
Fair.
Do you have it?
Do they have to read this whole thing? Yeah.
Would you like to stand?
Can't they just reference it?
So it is the policy of the Board of Education that each school board member, before taking his or her seat on the board for each term, shall take the oath of office. So if you would, let's read it together, please. I
Matthew O'Hara,
do solemnly swear that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of a member of the Board of Education, Glenbrook High School District 225, in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois, to the best of my ability. I further swear that
I shall
respect taxpayer interest by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets. I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before
the board
while respecting the privacy of students and employees. I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a public board meeting. I shall abide by majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels. As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality education of every student in the school district. I shall foster with the board extensive participation of the community, formulative goals, define outcomes, and set the course for Glenbrook High School District 225. I shall assist in establishing a structure and an environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential, the sound organizational framework. I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment of student achievement and all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law. I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students and our community school or schools to advance the vision for Glenbrook High School District 225. And I shall strive to work together with the superintendent to lead the school district toward fulfilling the vision the board has created, fostering excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and professional development. Congratulations.
A little known factoid is that is a very long oath. All the elements of that oath are actually anchored in state statute someplace. So it's the bringing together of all those elements of statute that creates the oath of office. Now that we have a fully sworn-in board of the education, the board must select the president of the board. The office of president is elected for a one-year term. Nominations need not be seconded. The chair will entertain nominations for board president to serve for 1 year.
I move to nominate Sandy Mullenbeck for board president.
Sandy Mullenbeck is nominated. Are there any other nominations for the office of president? Very well. Since there is only one nominee, the Secretary Pro Tem is hereby instructed to record unanimous vote for Ms. Sandy Mullenbeck. I hereby relinquish the chair to our newly elected president, Ms. Sandy Mullenbeck. You'll start here, and here's the actual script. So you'll read that, this, then pause for the nomination.
The chair will entertain nominations for board vice president to serve for a term of 1 year. I'd like to nominate Dr. Steinberg.
I'd like to nominate Matthew O'Hara.
Any others? Okay.
So Dr. Steinberg, Marcella Steinberg is nominated. Mr. Matthew O'Hara is nominated. The Secretary Pro Tem is hereby instructed to call the roll, whereupon the members may vote for any member who has been nominated. Madam Secretary, please report the outcome of the vote.
Mr. Downing,
There we go. I don't know enough, so I abstain.
Mr. Glowacki,
Matt.
Mrs. Hope,
Marcelo.
Mr. O'Hara,
Matt,
Mr. Schein,
Dr. Sainsberg.
Dr. Steinberg,
Dr. Steinberg, and that's not equal.
Ms. Mullenbeck.
Dr. Steinberg.
That is 4 votes for Dr. Steinberg, 2 votes for Mr. O'Hara, and 1 abstention.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Dr. Steinberg.
Yes, and then this will be, which is, okay, we have to read this and someone hopefully will say Vicky.
Okay. The chair will entertain nominations for board treasurer to serve for a term of 1 year.
Vicky Tarver for treasurer.
Vicky Tarver is nominated. Are there any other nominations for the office of treasurer? The secretary, because only one person is nominated, Secretary Pro Tem is instructed to cast an unanimous ballot for Vicky Tarver, who is thereupon declared elected.
Congratulations.
The chair will entertain nominations for board secretary to serve for a term of 1 year.
I nominate Carol Smith to serve as secretary.
Carol Smith is nominated. Are there any other nominations for the office of secretary? Carol Smith is the only person who is nominated. So Carol Smith, you are instructed to cast an unanimous ballot for that person who is thereupon declared elected.
Happy.
This concludes the organizational meeting for the newly formed Board of Education for Glenbrook High School District 225. And congratulations to our new members. And now we have 20 minutes for a cupcake reception. So please enjoy.
Somebody has to.
Okay.
So we are going to call the remainder of the meeting or the new meeting to order and begin with our recognition of community visitors. Do not have anyone tonight. In that case, we can move on to item 9, which is our discussion action agenda. Item 9.1 is approval of the final 24 to 25 school year calendar submission. Dr. Johns.
Thank you, Ms. Malbeck. Before I turn it over to Dr. Adrizi, this is our current school year. It's not next calendar or 2 years out as we sometimes do this time of year, but this is a state requirement in which we close out a calendar. We tell the state, these are the days that our students went to school. I haven't been terribly lucky with weather in the 6 years that I've been in this district, but I'm pretty confident we're not going to have any more snow days. Knock on wood. Okay. Good move. All right. Dr. Adrizi?
Yeah, this is, as you said, the 24-25 school year calendar, and I'm asking for approval to close it. The board originally approved the calendar on June 5th, 2023, and revised it on October 23rd, 24 to incorporate Election Day as a state holiday. It is part of the annual process that we are closing out the calendar. We are then sending it to the Regional Board of Education. So at this time, I'm asking to approve to close out the 24-25 school year.
And we'll
calendar, not
yeah,
the school year, the
not the
calendar.
school year. Yeah, we still have a little bit of time left. We'll bring this back for the consent agenda next meeting, so we don't need to vote tonight.
Can you clarify? There are no changes, so basically,
No
not only
changes.
it's the same year, we haven't made any changes.
Correct. Correct. Okay, so we'll bring that back on consent on May 12th.
Okay, then we will move on to item 9.2, Board of Education Committee appointments and member representatives. We have 3 standing committees, the Finance Committee, the Communications Committee, and the Facilities Committee. And then we also need board representatives for the Glenbrook Foundation, True North, Oakton Community College, and EdRed. So any board members, and especially our new board members who are interested in serving on a committee or committees or as a representative for any of those organizations, if you could let me or Dr. Johns know, and we, before the next meeting, so that we can, at that next meeting, appoint folks to those committees. Some of these committees already have members who may want to roll off, try something different, or may want to stay on. Just let us know what your preferences are.
Sandy, just one quick comment. Our finance committee will meet, forgive me, May 11th, May 12th. Our next board meeting, it'll meet at 5:30, and that will be focused on reviewing the amended budget, which is an annual process, and we'll present that then for the board for first reading at that same meeting. So just as a side note.
That's our next meeting,
May 12th.
May
May
12th.
12th.
Just a quick question. Do we assume there will be 3 board members so that we post an agenda? So that if a board member, some of these have 2 now, they can all have 3. So are we like
Yeah, so under
proofing it?
our normal practice, whether there's 2 members on the committee, 2 Board of Education members, 3, or sometimes we even have 4 or 5 show up. Regardless of the number, we will treat them as open meetings. So we will post an agenda, take minutes and things of that nature. Over the past 10 years, there are times when we only have 2 members of the board. Sometimes it's 3. And like I say, sometimes on a certain topic, there's a whole group of people who come together.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to item 9.3, which is the Board of Education regular board meeting dates for the 25-26 school year.
Dr. Johns?
Thank you. Before you are the calendar dates projected for the next school year. One thing to point out is we're hoping to return to only one meeting in July. Dr. Gravel, was there another change?
The only other topic that we had, it's not shown on this particular calendar, but we previously had coordinated IASB training, board governance training in the month of June, but I believe some members might have conflicts. And so that is a special meeting any which way about it. We probably just want to, before the night comes to a close, just discuss availability so that Dr. Johns and I can work with IASB to reschedule if that's needed.
Let's make it easier. That's a good idea, Dr. Gravel. I think it might be easier if I check first with the IASB since they have a limited number of options. And then I'll put together, I'll use that app that you can use for calendaring, and we'll get something out to people.
What's the date as of now? June
Was to be
14th.
June 14th.
And we'll bring both of these back at our next meeting under consent. So if you, again, if you could get feedback regarding your committee interests, I know the policy committee has a list already started, so we're eager to get rolling on that as well.
Okay, did anyone have any on the calendar as currently drafted? In that case, it will come back on consent. That brings us to item 10, which is a review and summary of the board meeting. Just this part of the board meeting, I hope, because that's the only part I have notes on. So we will be bringing 3 items back on consent next meeting: the approval of the 24-25 school year calendar, the Board of Education committee appointments, and the regular board meeting dates for the 25-26 school year. Item 11 on the agenda, possible topics for future board meetings. If any board member would like to raise any possible topics for future board meetings, they can do so now, or they can send an email to Dr. Johns or myself. Okay, sounds like we don't have any future topics right at hand. So that takes us now to closed session. Closed session or executive session, right here, is to consider the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee of the public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity, student disciplinary cases, the placement of individual students in special education programs and other matters relating to individual students, and litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting. These are exceptions to the Open Meeting Act.
If you would read this section, all the numbers at the bottom.
Okay. Which is section 2C1, 9, 10, and 11 of the Open Meeting Act.
So I move to go into open session,
Closed.
closed session. Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay,
What's time?
what's the time?
Break time? No
It's
time? no
8 o'clock.
Are there any actions coming out?
Will there be any actions coming out of potentially?
Yes, we'll have one vote coming out of close regarding the GESA voluntary termination of benefits. So how long do you want to have the break between the two?
10 minutes?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
So we'll return at 8:05. Thank you, everyone, for coming. We appreciate you being here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Ms. Mullenbeck, we're back.
Okay, we are back and open and we are coming out with one item to vote on. We need a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement with GESA for voluntary termination benefits.
So move.
Do we do a roll call for this? Ms. Smith?
Mr. Downey,
Yes.
Mr. Glowacki,
Yes.
Mrs. Hope,
Yes.
Mr. O'Hara,
Yes.
Mr. Schein,
Yes.
Dr. Steinberg,
Yes.
Ms. Mullenbeck,
Yes.
7 members voting yes.
And now we need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Senator, thank you for that question. Oh, sorry.
Welcome to the board.
So we're out.
9:07 PM, we are adjourned.
Great, great, great. Congrats.